Lawrence? Delicious. Absolutely delicious. The egg, it's beautiful, it's rich, it's velvety, the yolk is absolutely incredible, the lardo on top is genius. Love the acidity to your white wine veloute and the freshness and the acid running through the cockles, the pickling of them. Fantastic.
23-year-old Matthew, who is a head chef of a Mayfair restaurant, had a strong start to the competition.
I'd love to plan, and I feel a lot more comfortable producing a dish, which I've done a few times, so I think it's going to be very tough today.
Hey, Matthew, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
You look a little nervous today.
I am. I'm actually extremely nervous. Obviously, this competition means everything to me, and I really want to do well, so that's obviously why I'm feeling like this.
What are you cooking?
So I'm going to do mango parfait. Obviously, with the eggs, I'm going to do white chocolate mousse, some fresh mango, some pistachio.
Wow, no wonder you're nervous. A parfait, really? You're going to have to go some to get that frozen down quickly.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe doing Italian meringue as well, but time permitting.
OK, good luck, Matthew. You've got a lot of work to do.
Thank you.
Good luck, Matthew.
This parfait has got to be frozen for this to work, and I want to taste the mango flavour coming through that. The mousse has got to be whipped up enough that it's going to hold its form. The Italian meringue, it's all about getting the temperature right on that sugar before he starts folding it into his whisked egg whites.
Chefs, you're halfway.
Ollie is a head chef at a country house hotel in Yorkshire. His ambitious seafood signature dish was let down by an undercooked Dover's sole.
Going to come back fighting today. I took a bit of a bruising. I think it'd be really nice to be able to put a dish out that ends up being a star dish and that I can sort of sail through on instead of just scraping through.
So tell me, which eggs have you chosen and how are you using them?
I've done a custard with a hen's egg with a parmesan and truffle through it. And with the duck egg, I'm going to make an egg mixture, which I'm going to cook eggy bread in.
Are you going to give us something quite modern? It's a modern take. I'm not just going to get a piece of bread that's been dunked in mixed egg, am I?
I'm going to do it with mushrooms. I've got a couple of variations of mushrooms, some fresh truffle, some set powder, a couple of little garlic chives, and I've done a Madeira reduction as well.
Curious how it's going to look on the plate, Ollie, but it sounds divine.
Brilliant.
This sounds like a luxurious brunch dish being elevated with the use of truffles and lovely mushrooms. Love eggy bread. We have a custard made of parmesan and hen's eggs. I want to be able to taste the parmesan coming through from this custard.
Simon is a sous chef at a Two Rosette restaurant in Newcastle. He excited the judges with his signature turbot dish.
Being here and in the thick of it really does give you a sort of thirst to progress. It's time to try and compete with the big lads here, I guess. Today I'm going to be doing devilled quail's eggs, a lovage and wasabi hollandaise. I'm also going to be doing some asparagus, baby carrots, different texture beetroot. I'm going to be using uzu, mirin, different flavours.
Do you think there's enough egg in this dish?
Yes, chef. I think once I get the hollandaise on there with the quail's eggs, I think that'll be a nice finish to the dish and you'll be able to really see the egg.
I'm looking forward to tasting the deviled breadcrumb that goes around the quail egg. You need to be very careful with the quantity of wasabi with this dish because you don't want it to be too hot. But I'm not 100% sure. He's going to need a lot of those beautiful little ingredients to make this into a dish.
Chefs, you have 25 minutes left.
25-year-old Lawrence is a junior sous chef at a Michelin-starred restaurant. He excelled in his heat with a standout mackerel dish.
I'm a perfectionist in my food. I want to be the best on the day, every day. Getting a dish perfect first time is pretty much impossible, but I'm going to give it my best shot today. So I'm doing a slow-cooked hen's egg. with a white wine velouté. I've got some asparagus, girolles, pickled cockles, a little bit of bacon in there. So it's quite simple, but hopefully the egg will stand out as the main ingredient.
How long are you cooking the eggs?
45 minutes.
What temperature are you cooking the egg in?
65. I think the slow-cooked egg gives it a fantastic texture, and hopefully it will shine through as the star of the dish.
It's a big risk for Lawrence to cook the egg the way he has now, because he's got to wait a full 45 minutes before he will know if this egg is going to work.
The white wine velouté will lift this dish. I want it to have a beautiful texture, a little touch of acid coming from the wine. It's got to be just right. Four minutes left. Come on, let's go.
You have 30 seconds left. If it needs to be on the plate, be quick.
That's it. Stop cooking. Simon, step back from your bench.
First up is Lawrence, who is serving a slow-cooked hen's egg topped with truffle and sliced lardo or pig's fat, asparagus, radish, crouton, pancetta, and pickled clams. Finished with a white wine velouté.
That looks beautiful, Lawrence.
Lawrence. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. The egg, it's beautiful, it's rich, it's velvety, the yolk is absolutely incredible, the lardo on top is genius. Love the acidity to your white wine velouté and the freshness and the acid running through the cockles, the pickling of them. Fantastic. That's a solid piece of cookery at the highest level.
Lawrence, the brief was to use the egg as a key element to the dish here, and you have done that. It's an absolute joy to eat this plate of food.
I'm over the moon. Can't stop smiling.
Think any better than that?
Once again, brother, smashed it. Good work.
A little bit overwhelmed. No negative feedback, really. So it's just fantastic.
Simon has made devilled or spiced quail's eggs, a selection of vegetables including asparagus, pickled beetroot, heritage carrot, radish, and girolles, with a pear and radish emulsion, finished with a wasabi and lovage hollandaise.
The vegetables are nicely cooked, they are well seasoned, they've all got their own little textures and flavours. The little devilled quail's egg is delicious. There is a heat in there that I wasn't expecting. I thought the heat would be in the wasabi hollandaise, but that's also very good. But this should have been a dish about the quail egg and the hollandaise, and everything else was part of it. In fact, it's the other way around. It lacks a central egg idea, and I think what you should have done is focus more on the egg and put the vegetable garnish around it.
It sort of reminds me of something when I'm in France at my husband's grandmother's house, and we're sitting around the table and we have the selection of vegetables and we're just dipping it in hollandaise. You know, it's nice, but I want more than nice here.
I cooked what I believed would be good, and it was all cooked well, but just didn't quite hit the brief.
I like this chicken dish. You've taken the best bit, the breast, you've cooked it incredibly well. It's got great flavour, it's got great skill, beautifully executed. Well done.
30 minutes to go. Half an hour. Come on, chefs.
So far, 23-year-old head chef Matthew has remained calm under pressure and delivered some outstanding food.
What is your dish?
So I've got an ox cheek, which I'm braising down with broccoli puree, and then I'm going to do a roasted piece of broccoli with some Caesar dressing, toasted hazelnuts, some fresh parmesan. I'm going to do a pomme dauphine. So it's equal parts choux pastry and dry mash with a little bit of egg yolk through there. I'm going to flavour mine with confit shallot, maybe some Stilton to go with the broccoli and the beef, and then I'm going to quenelle it and fry it in the fryer.
Yeah, it comes out like a really light, fluffy mash with a crispy top.
Should do, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
You're actually balancing quite a few big flavours here.
Yeah, obviously we're the final best 12 chefs in the competition, so you've got to do something a little special to stand out, I think.
Matthew's cooking the ox cheek in the pressure cooker. He's got to have enough liquid in there to cook and reduce at the same time to hopefully make a sauce to go with it. The ox cheek has got to be cooked enough that it still holds, but should just fall apart when you cut into it.
What I'm excited about with Matthew's dish is the pomme dauphine. Pomme dauphine is all about a great potato puree. It's about beautiful sized quenelles, deep fried, crispy on the outside, and beautiful, light and aerated in the centre. I've not had a pomme dauphine for a long time. I love them.
Listen, you have 9 minutes. Just 9 minutes. Don't get called out.
The tension in this kitchen is immense. Our chefs have got their heads down. There are 8 places up for grabs, and there's not one cook in this kitchen who wants to cook again.
You have got less than 5 minutes.
What's happened?
The braising liquid inside the ox cheek is just slightly over-reduced and burnt. But luckily, I've got the sauce ready. And yeah, I've took some out. The beef's fine, I'm just going to trim it.
Time's up. Your time is up. Thank you.
How was it?
Yeah, good, good.
Well done, Lawrence. How was it?
First up is Michelle. She has served pan-roasted cod with a tempura courgette flour stuffed with a cod and chervil mousse, pickled shallot rings, baby onions, rainbow chard, a lemon and juniper gel, and a clam beurre blanc.
I think the fish is perfectly cooked. It's beautiful. It's flaking away. You've got the crispy skin as well. Loving the cooking of the clams. They're not overcooked. But in the same time, remember to remove the sandbag off there so you don't get any of that grittiness through it.
I love the crispy courgette flour with the hint of cod, nicely seasoned. But you've also got real sharpness in those little pearls of onions and in that gel. I like that.
Michelle, it's nicely presented, but for me, the dish is flat. I want a little bit more seasoning, a little bit more flavour on the cod. The sauce is a little bit weak and bland. It doesn't pack any flavour. The mousse is a little bit on the firm side for me. I'm not excited by the dish, Michelle.
Feeling mixed. I don't know if I'm going to have to recook today. I'm, of course, hoping that I don't. I'm hoping that I've done enough.
Alex has served a roast chicken breast with pomme anna, baby button onions, burnt leek in a mushroom powder, pancetta and shiitake mushroom, chicken liver, a cep puree, potato crisps, and a chicken sauce.
I like this chicken dish. You've taken the best bit, the breast, you've cooked it incredibly well. It's got great flavour, it's got great skill, beautifully executed. Well done.
There are things on here I wouldn't ever have thought of doing. Liver with it. It's just lovely. The leek with the peppery powder. Ceps and the chicken together is my favourite. The meatiness of that cep, I think, is delightful.
The pomme anna is a little star on a side. It's stunning. I think it's a great tasting plate of food.
I can breathe now after all that. Whew. To get those comments is just setting in slowly.
Matthew's dish is braised ox cheek, served with a Stilton pomme dauphine, broccoli puree, roasted broccoli with a Caesar dressing, fresh parmesan and hazelnuts, parmesan crisps, and an ox cheek sauce.
How you've stopped that ox cheek from tasting burnt is pretty much a miracle for me. I'm really pleased you saved some sauce because the sauce is lovely and sweet and got a lovely texture to it. The ox cheek tastes great. You're a lucky boy.
That may be one of the nicest broccoli florets I've ever tasted, with little crispy bits as well, giving it an extra texture. I'm just amazed by not just the quality, the strength of that puree. Even eating a head of broccoli doesn't taste as much of broccoli as that does.
Pomme de fin, fantastic addition to this plate. There is a lot of skill to make a dish this refined.
I'm extremely relieved that everything didn't go completely wrong today. It was a very close shave with my beef. It would have destroyed me to see that 2 hours and 15 minutes go to waste.
Luke has pan-fried cod in pancetta oil and served it with a courgette puree, pomme soufflé, spring vegetables, blackberries, and a vermouth beurre blanc.
Nice presentation, Luke. Love the cookery of the asparagus, love the cookery of the cod, but where I'm getting a little bit confused here is the blackberries. I have no idea why they're there, because they don't, for me, work with cod and cream sauce.
I like the sweetness of the broad beans. A courgette puree doesn't bring a great deal of flavour, but it's a nice texture. I like it.
I've never had a crispy potato filled the way you've done it. Once you've filled it with something soft like that, they will tend to go soft very quick, but I quite like the idea. I like the vermouth going through the cream sauce. I would have stopped there. The blackberry doesn't work for me, I'm sorry, Luke.
I'm not overly confident at the moment. The competition's really strong, and some of the dishes looked amazing, but who knows, it's still early days.
Mark has served rabbit saddle stuffed with offal and black pudding wrapped in bacon on a bed of chard, a Kiev tortellini with a sourdough crumb, onion and thyme puree, vegetable fricassee, and a sherry reduction.
There are some delicious things on that plate. I really like that meatiness of the offal. Your sauce, lovely, rich sweetness to it as well. I love that garlic that's coming out of your tortellini. But all of those flavours together, it's a little muddled.
I'm a bit disappointed in the cooking of the saddle. The actual rabbit itself inside is bland, it's under-seasoned. The tortellini is well made, but it's not giving me that excitement I was expecting when you sold it as a Kiev for me. Yeah, a taste of garlic on there, but I thought maybe more of that butter would really be more evident.
The sauce is very well made. I think your garnish is a little bit on the safe side. Some chard and some sauté mushrooms and a few broad beans. I was expecting a little bit more from you on the garnish, Mark.
It's the first negative comment I've really got, so it's more about how I respond from here. I think I will be cooking again, so it's a bit of like, get the energy levels up. There's no point in sitting back and moping around.
Dean's dish is braised octopus with a mushroom and smoked paprika powder, pistachio and lemon quinoa, a garnish of heritage carrots, tomato, broccoli, and spring onion, croutons, and a spiced tomato sauce.
Love the little croutons, love the quinoa. The tomato sauce is absolutely lovely. The cooking of the octopus is on the button. Best octopus dish I've eaten.
I like how this plate looks, Dean. I also like this powder that you've seasoned the side of the octopus with the mushroom and paprika, with saltiness coming through it, and the warmth, which is not too hot. It's a delight. It's light, it's not heavy, and it works very well together.
Wow, me personally, I think it's delicious and really clever.
To get a comment like that from Marcus saying the best octopus dish he's ever tried was hands down, you know, amazing.
I think the pork cheek is cooked beautifully. It's just melt in your mouth. It's sticky with the glaze. The freshness of the crab works really nicely with this pork cheek. And the lobster with the lardo, I love it. Really tasty, really tasty.
Ollie's spaghetti bolognese-inspired dessert is a tomato bavois, a set whipped cream flavoured with honey and tomato juice and filled with tomato jam, sitting on a shortbread biscuit and dusted with tomato sherbet, with compressed strawberries, sweet Sicily curd and a lovage jelly, puffed pepper noodles, and a tomato and lovage granita.
Ollie, I really like the craziness of your presentation, you know, because you get served that and you're like, wow, what am I going to experience here?
Ollie, when you spoke about your idea today, your spaghetti bolognese, I thought, really? Now that I've tasted the dessert, I think the dish is excellent. I do. I think it's smart, it's different, it's intriguing. This granita is delicious. You've got the perfect balance of tomato, sweet, herbs running through it, the lovage on the plate, the crunch of the biscuit, the beautiful idea of the pepper spaghetti sitting on top. It's fascinating. For me, it's excellent.
Every mouthful starts off like it's going to be savoury and then very quickly becomes an absolutely exquisite dessert with heady flavours of strawberry. I've got the honey that keeps on dancing across my tongue. I believe this to be a work of real genius. Real genius.
Using the inspiration of spaghetti bolognese to make a dessert. You nutter. It's great. Don't change. It works.
I've been waiting for feedback like that for a while. I feel like I've just sort of been just under the line. So yeah, to just creep above it and get such good feedback, yeah, absolutely made up.
Matthew's surf and turf dish, inspired by his first visit to a Michelin-starred restaurant with his mum, is braised Iberico pork cheek, sitting on roasted fennel infused with dill oil and topped with julienne of apple. Lobster tail covered with lardo, a fennel salad, crab salad, and a pork stock aroma. Finished with a lobster bisque and dill oil.
Wow. Well done.
I think the pork cheek is cooked beautifully. It's just melt in your mouth. It's sticky with the glaze. The freshness of the crab works really nicely with this pork cheek. And the lobster with the lardo, I love it. Really tasty, really tasty.
Mate, you rock. I mean, that is just awesome. I love that bisque. And that herb oil is slightly aniseed. And then you've got little bits of fresh apple. And then you've got a little bit of citrus running through the crab, and the crab is salty. It's just delicious.
I love the roasting of the fennel, the oil, the dill. It's an undercurrent of aniseed that just keeps coming back time and time again. I love the pork fat on top of the lobster. That works really well. Another good dish from you. In fact, it's a very good dish from you.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
I still remain unconvinced over surf and turf, but nothing in the world would stop me from completely and utterly devouring all of this dish.
So you're convinced then?
So you're convinced?
All right, OK, all right, it's good.
I'm feeling amazing. I'm so happy that they enjoyed it. It's a great comment. Thanks, man. To fall into the top two is very small margins. So I'm still very nervous, but I'm happy. I've done everything I can.
Michelle's dish is based on the memory of her grandmother's fruitcake. She's made a muscovado and ginger sponge with cinnamon meringues, cherries poached in cherry brandy and filled with cherry gel, a cherry puree, cherry glass tuile, rum-soaked raisins, and a raisin puree with a cinnamon oil aroma.
Way!
And a rum and raisin ice cream.
What happened to the ice cream?
When I put it in the ice cream machine, it wasn't churning fast enough, so I put it into the chiller so it didn't set.
The lightness of the sponge is absolutely delicious. The cherries, the freshness, love the cherry puree, love the little meringue on the plate as well. There's a lot about this dessert I really do like. But your rum and raisin ice cream, it hasn't set, unfortunately.
The cake is delicious. You can taste the spices, the ginger and the cinnamon. The rum and raisin ice cream, I'm disappointed it hasn't set, but it is delicious. You've got a huge hit of rum. And if you take a little bit and you try it with this raisin puree and a little bit of the cake, it's a great tasting dessert.
Cherry, ginger, rum and raisin are a great idea. But you know yourself, this is not how you wanted your ice cream to be.
Feeling okay. Ice cream didn't go to plan. Still got good comments, so I'm focusing on those to keep me happy.
Inspired by the flavours of the South African dish, bobotie, Sean has served rack of pork and pork belly, a curried apricot puree, almond milk gel, fresh apricot, dried fruit sourdough toast and almond granola, black curry powder, and a pork jus.
Sean, if that's a national dish of South Africa, then that's where I'm going on holiday. I think it's absolutely delicious. The touch of fruit in this dish, the apricot, is just balanced beautifully well. I really love the granola flavour, the textures of it, once it all gets mixed up with that delicious sauce. I just love this dish. I think it's great.
The almond puree is lovely because it just gives everything a lovely creamy texture and creamy flavour. I love the cutlets. I don't particularly like this belly. There's too much fat in here. I'm chewing this and I don't like it.
The pork cutlet with the crackling, still crunchy on there is delicious. The apricots bring a bit of sharpness to the plate, and what I think is really clever is using the curry powder as a seasoning. It brings a point of difference to it. Really tasty, really tasty.
Yeah, that was great. This dish is very personal to me and my family. To get that feedback, amazing.
Every now and again in a competition, we all eat a dish that we will never forget. That is absolutely outstanding.
1 hour left. Gentlemen, 1 hour left.
I've pushed myself to the wire from the very start of this competition, and I don't intend to stop that and go easy on myself for the final round. Final cook's going to be pretty savage. I've got a lot to do in the time allocated, a lot of things that can go wrong.
You are the youngest chef in the final. You're a sous chef, you're not head chef. Have you realised the enormity of this achievement?
Age is a number at the end of the day. I believe in myself and I believe in my abilities, so I think it's that self-belief that's got me here.
Have you been developing as a chef?
Massively. I developed so much throughout the entire competition. These three dishes I'm going to cook for you today are the most accurate representation of the food that I want to be cooking. I'd love to give you some food that you'll never forget, and you'll remember me as my chef and want to come to my restaurant in the future.
For a younger chef in the kitchen, he's probably one of the calmest. He looks fantastic. He looks like he's excited to cook us his food. Lawrence's starter, his scallops with marinated cherry tomatoes and a tomato dashi.
So a few elements of my starter been inspired by Anne-Sophie Pick and the flavour, that long finish that she always talked about. I may not be able to pull off, but I'm going to give it a go.
We've also got some pickled green strawberries with sweet woodruff. They're underripe, they're almost sort of savoury in their own way. think they'll work a treat with scallops.
The roast tomato dashi show beautiful flavours of the kombu or the seaweed that he's using. It works very well with the scallops here.
My dashi is the hardest part of my starter. There's about 10, 11 different ingredients going in there, and hopefully if they all work in harmony, it will build layer upon layer upon layer of flavour.
This is a lovely little Asian twist in Lawrence's cookery, but we want to taste the sweetness of the scallop and then all the other flavours working together.
My main course, I'm cooking a loin and belly of pig. The hardest element is going to be cooking the loin. It needs to have perfectly crispy skin to perfection. I want a nice, really clean little rack.
For the pork belly, we've got a glaze of dark soy, ginger and star anise.
It's got kimchi, a Korean fermented cabbage dish. It's taking kimchi to make a glaze. Delicious.
We've got braised fermented hispy cabbage. Love the sound of that. Wow. With nashi pear, puree and sliced pear. Pear, pork, without doubt work together.
Flavour combination of the whole dish I'm really, really happy with. It might not be everyone's cup of tea. For me, I absolutely love it.
Guys, you have 45 minutes left, please. 45 minutes.
For dessert, Lawrence has an aerated mint white chocolate.
The most difficult part about my dessert is going to be getting the aerated chocolate absolutely spot on. You know, it needs to be set in time. Quite a big ask, especially in a kitchen that hot.
As soon as it comes out the vac pack machine, you need to get it straight into the freezer so it freezes while it's aerated. Can't afford for that white chocolate to melt.
He's making a passion fruit, lemongrass and coconut ripple ice cream. Yum! Who doesn't like ripple ice cream?
These flavours sound great.
I think if I can pull all three dishes off exactly how I've got them planned, they're all going to blow the judges away. I've never been more determined of anything in my life.
20 minutes, chefs. Your last 20 minutes of the competition.
This is the biggest 20 minutes of my life. It's glorious. It's a great feeling. There's goosebumps.
Only you, Ollie. Only you.
Trying to bring something different with me. Quite a lot to do. A lot to be plating up as well, 3 dishes, so I'm going to start plating really soon.
This is my aerated white chocolate, so I've got to be very careful not to open it, otherwise it will crack. Yeah, it's set, thankfully. It's how I wanted it. It's nice and airy, nice and light. It's got to be very, very delicate.
10 minutes, please, chefs. 10 minutes.
Been a while since we've felt this amount of pressure in this kitchen. We can really see the concentration on our 3 chefs. Heads down and just getting on with it.
Chefs, you need to know you have 5 minutes left.
Can't say who can win this competition. I've never seen 3 chefs so focused. They're in touching distance now.
Their final checks, all important. They don't want to forget anything. I'm happy.
Everything's cooked, just finishing it off, so yeah, feeling in a pretty good place at the moment.
I'm completely determined, you know, I've tried to get it down to a T for this moment.
Your final 60 seconds. That's it. Your time is up. Lawrence, please, come and join us.
They do look good, Lawrence, I've got to say. Yeah, they really do. I just want to dive in and start eating.
Lawrence's starter is a pan-seared scallop with heritage cherry tomatoes marinated in dried woodruff and elderflower, wild strawberries, pickled green strawberries, coriander oil, and a roast tomato dashi.
The scallop has been cooked perfectly. Love the golden colour. This tomato dashi has got a light smokiness through it. And I like that it's not sweet in any way because the tomatoes, they have that sweetness.
Beautifully cooked scallop, fascinated with the use of the white strawberries on the dish, and they do work together. Unfortunately, the tomatoes feel like they've just not had enough time to absorb the flavours and the marinade that you were looking for. There's almost a raw element to them, which is fine. They work well, they're fresh, they bring something to the plate. For me, the dish just lacks a little bit of punch.
Love the tomatoes and the strawberries and the dashi. I think that's absolutely beautiful. And it does remind me of your time in Maison Pic. Really, really good.
For his main, Lawrence has cooked pork loin and kimchi soy and mirin glazed pork belly, with braised fermented hispy cabbage, a soy and kimchi puree, pear puree, and pickled nashi pear.
Every now and again in a competition, we all eat a dish that we will never forget. That is absolutely outstanding. That pork is perfectly cooked, crispy, crackling on the outside. I mean, that's very hard to get. This fermented hispy cabbage, oh, that is on another level. Stunning, stunning dish. Well done.
Thank you, Chef.